whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. Stat Guy's on vacation. It's us two holding it down. How's it going, man?
Living a dream. How you doing?
Good. Redoing my studio, and I realized that where my camera is, I already hate. So that is not going to stay.
There you go. I mean, I get it. I have the same spots every time. So as you can kind of see, it's hasn't really changed much. And if you all of a sudden see a whole new house, that's usually means I'm away.
I mean, you do have a couple more things on the wall now.
Yeah, like every time I get a little something, I try to put it up there. I also like you know I'm one of those guys that likes to buy the game pins. Like I'm a game pin guy. Like I want to buy and have like some type of you know, uh, collection of that. So I have a lot of the game pins from last season. Problem is I don't ever wear them. You know what I mean? I never wear these pins. Where would I put them? You know what I mean? That's the thing. So I got to get like a cork board or something that I'd be able to do where it's like I could just kind of put it in there and just let them live there and so on and so forth.
That'd be cool because they're probably on the outside an inch, right?
They range. Some are bigger, smaller. Like it's actually probably about an inch and a half by an inch and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about what I was figuring. Because like any of the game pins that I had were similar to that. You know,
yeah. So and it's cool. Like the NFL never seems to make enough of them. You know, like certain game pins wind up getting taken, and like if I don't get there early enough, and I don't have somebody there getting it for me, like normally the one store will know to hold me one or two of them. Because normally I have somebody with me and it's like, okay, I'm going to get the second pin just for the hell of it and give it to them. You know, it's like it's their remembrance of coming with me to a game. Like they won't just have normal memories. You know what I mean? Like going with me to a game is a pain in the balls. So it's like that's like that could have its own memory. You know what I mean? But you try to give them a game pin and stuff. But sometimes I can't get there fast enough. The NFC Championship game, I tried to get there and they were sold out like before the game started. And I'm like, that means somebody went in there and bought like 40 of them. You know what I mean? Because nobody actually buys those pins unless you're collecting them like that. So some people like to collect them and then throw them back up on eBay or whatever and try to sell them for $1,000 more.
Hey, it's only dumb if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah. And it is sad that Foreman passed away. But he was old, right? I mean,
he was like 70 some, wasn't he?
Like that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he was upper 70s. So, I mean,
the fact that he was around this long, I mean, let's say he had a halfway decent boxing career. I say halfway decent. He actually had a really good boxing career twice.
76.
He had, and then of course he came out with the grill.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well,
calls me every time the podcast starts.
For sure. I guess there's some disparity. 76, 78. Either way, late 70s. Troy, thanks for the game pin you gave him.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I do. I always buy. If you're with me, I usually get to. So,
I mean, his boxing career is why he was able to sell grills, because it's not like he developed the grill. It was a product that they slapped his name on, because there was actually other people they approached for that first. So I remember, I forget offhand, but I remember seeing a documentary that included it. And I want to say it was something weird, though. It was like Sylvester Stallone
or the Donny Osmond.
Yeah, kind of. It was literally like a product, and we're going to find a person to endorse it. And Foreman ended up being like the second or third option. And then, for a fact, everybody that turned it down was like, yeah, we messed up.
You know what? I don't know that he's best known for either one of those. I think he's best known for naming every single one of his kids George.
I mean, I did not remember that.
Yeah, every one of his kids that came out were called George.
That is weird.
It is weird. You know what I mean? It's like because you don't it doesn't become a junior, second, third, fourth, fifth, because that usually means generation.
Exactly.
You know
yeah.
I mean?
All of a sudden you're George A, George B. Huh. That's weird. That's weird.
That is weird. And it's also weird for his wife to have allowed that.
Right.
And I think that is, he did have a girl or two, and I think they called them Georgina.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm not 100% certain on that, but if we had Stat Guy here, he would look it up.
That is for sure. He wouldn't know it offhand. He'd have to look it up. But yeah, I mean, you got to be really into yourself to name all of your kids your name. Like that's wild. That's wild.
I agree that you have to really, really be into yourself. But he was, and he did, like I said, he was a two-time champion, because I know he won it later on in life at like 40. I remember when he came back and he beat Buster Douglas, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was just
the whole family turns around, Joe. It's everybody.
Exactly. And listen, well, the good thing is that he never got the name wrong.
There's that.
He'd be like, George. Oh, what am I calling myself for? You know what I mean? Like, it's like George. Yeah. doesn't quite have that thing, but anyways,
Chris, those grills are gonna not ever be worth money unless he signed one. They sold those grills for 25 years. Like, I don't think any of them are gonna be anything.
Well, so I was out of the loop obviously for a little while, and we've been doing a lot of replays and stuff like that. I'm wondering, has anything happened in the NFL?
No, I mean, you had a pro day yesterday, right? Cam Ward went out and threw the ball, and people are making a big deal about it. You better be good on a pro day with your guys against no defense in a controlled atmosphere. Like, you better show out.
I would think so.
So
I do see it here.
We're like, oh my God, he was so amazing in a pro day. It's like, I would hope so. Like, I could be great in a pro day.
Well, I could see that. Even I'm looking at like some of the news articles that they have in the NFL, and there's like nothing going on at all.
No, this is one of those weeks where nothing great is going on. You got, the NFL is essentially done for the moment. There's a couple of pro days coming up, but the major transactions are done until after the draft. You always end up with a little bit more heat on free agency right after the draft, but this is that spot where the NFL kind of isn't really doing much for a week or two outside of the pro days. But again, the pro days, I don't put a lot of stock in them because, I mean, you're supposed to be great in a pro day. Although a wide receiver did run it was like a 4.86 or something, like an incredibly slow 40 for being a wide receiver. So like 4.86 is like a quarterback. It's like a quarterback speed.
It's like me. Like, I could beat that almost.
Yeah. So
maybe I can. I don't know that, but
probably not. But still, when it in the scheme of things, if you're looking at receivers like that, that's not fast. So
no, No, you better be really good at getting open.
Yeah, you better have the cleanest routes ever ran if you're going to be that. And you're never going to you're going to catch the ball and you're going to get caught.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, but the truth of the matter is, like, as I think about that, like, why do that? Like, why put yourself if you're that slow? Why even do that?
I'm guessing he just had a bad start, right? Because it's all your 40 speed is all on how you take off from the line.
Yeah.
And
If
so
you slip there, I can imagine that's a big deal, So
exactly. Yeah. Or if you have like a rock back step, because your time starts as soon. Stop trying to call me.
that's
As
yeah,
soon
it's everything. Everybody wants to try to call us now. Like we don't ever do this every day.
yeah, right. What are you doing right now? I don't know, working. What are you doing? Like, why aren't you working in the middle of a weekday, middle of the day? Like what? But if you have like a rock back step, because your time starts as soon as you move. So if you have that like where you kind of dig your foot in a little bit deeper, your body moves, so the clock starts. And
Got
so you can have like little technique issues that can mess your 40 time up. So that's all I can figure. I can't imagine that he's actually that slow. Because if he is, man, he's probably going to be,
Not drafted.
yeah, right? Like he'll be an undrafted free agent and probably playing in the UFL.
Well, but then again, it makes me wonder, like, unless you did it purposely, like, are you trying to do it go slow so that you get off of some people's boards so that you can go to somewhere very specific,
I can't
like you've
imagine
done,
you
like you,
do that because every spot you slip, you make the less money.
yeah, but I mean, think about it. If you were not to get drafted or get drafted in the 6th or 7th round, say, you get a 1-year contract. You know what I
Sure.
mean? You don't have to do anything crazy. After that, you could sign your whatever contract you want. You could do a show me contract
Yep.
for 1 year. You know what I mean? And then get whatever you wanted to. You wouldn't be on a rookie contract anymore, or forced to be on one. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and how soon till that starts to occur with these rookies? That these rookies are going to be like, hey, I only want a 2-year deal because I want to get signed for more. I want my contract up as quick as possible. That's going to happen sooner than later, I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, I could see if you were a guy that was going to go in the third round and you wanted to manipulate your way down a round, because what the fourth round is once it's is where the 1 or 2 years start anyway, right? Because I think what first round is 4 or 5, right? It's got the
Yeah, first round you can get up to 5 years.
second round is 4,
4.
and then third is like 2 or 3, maybe, and then fourth, I
Well,
think.
I
I
mean, you
think
could
fourth is
sign
just
somebody for 4 years, right? I mean, you could accept a 4-year contract, but you just wouldn't. Like the teams wouldn't do it, I would think. But I mean, I got to imagine that there's no rule saying, hey, you can't sign a 4-year deal.
well, no, I think there is. I think it's part of their CBA. Like your rookie contract is what it is based on your position that you signed in, and then after that, you can extend or whatever. But that initial contract, I think, is actually negotiated in the CBA. So there's a dollar figure, a dollar range attached to it, and then a year designation, as I recall. Uh, dang. Frankie in here bringing the hate. What's happening, Frankie?
There we go. Let's see. Rules of the draft. How many rookie contracts? All right. Rounds 2 through 7 receive just a 4-year rookie contract, while undrafted free agents receive a 3-year contract.
Really? Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, So it's forced, I guess.
Yeah, well, I knew it was forced. I didn't realize the undrafted guys had one. That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is from the Detroit. It's hard to really.
I'll have to look into that a little more because I am actually curious. See, that's the other problem with moving my studio around. I
You
have I
don't
have
have
my I have
everything
my
where you want
pad
it to be.
for I have my pad for a note, but I don't have a pen, so that's helpful.
Nice, nice. You got to get like these little black books.
Yeah, I mean, normally I have all my stuff here, but because I still in the process of moving everything around, it's chaos. So I got that going for me.
Yeah,
Hey,
I've got
and
thousands
thanks
of
for tuning in.
pens and pencils near me, though.
What's that?
I have thousands of pencils and pens, like right here. Like I could
Yeah,
give you a
I
lot of them, but
have a whole box of them on the other side of this desk.
there you go.
So just apparently not one sitting on my desk. So super helpful.
So Casey asking me, what is the best section to sit in at a Phillies game? So I mean, depending on where it is, like where you want to sit, like I am a big fan of uh like I walk around, so it's hard for me to kind of determine that. You really could be in section like 115, 116 if you're going to be on the first base side. Uh, Section 104 is also a good spot if you want to try to catch home runs out to uh, right field. There you go to section 142 if you're going to try to catch home runs at left field. And then if you're in the Diamond Club, you're really in the sections of like 121, 120, 123 in that area right there. There's that you spend a lot of money at those. As you go up and are up higher, it's always fun in 301.
Or if you want to be a bigger part of the show, jump the fence, run through the field. The view will be amazing.
And have Gary say hello. Because the last time somebody did that at a Phillies game, Gary was the one who put the tackle down on him. Gary is a friend of mine, and we met right after that tackle. And it's amazing how Gary has gotten, people still remember that hit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
this guy.
Lowered the shoulder and just took him out.
Oh, it was. So the guy was running across the field. The game was over. Guys running across the field. The the guys are coming out of the bullpen, and Alvarado is just kind of like, being funny with the guy. He's like trying to do whatever. He's like, "Hey, what's up, my man?" And here comes the guy's looking at Alvarado doing that and running towards him, and Gary doesn't even see Gary. Gary plows him. I tell you, Alvarado fell out hysterical laughing. It was so funny to watch that. You could find that somewhere still. Like it
Right.
was a couple years ago, but it was one of the best hits I've ever seen, football games or not. You know what I mean? It was amazing. And he's been known for that. So yes, you could definitely say hello to Gary if you do that.
And you'd get a whole segment on this show.
Exactly. That's exactly correct.
Of us just sitting here laughing at you.
100%. So, but
Uh,
have you ever thrown out a first pitch?
yeah. Actually, as a kid, I got to do one at an Angels game. So
Obviously I'm still getting people that are sending me like, hey, it was really cool to actually see you have a real moment. Like it's obviously I did a video and I was like at a little bit of a loss for words because I've never, like I've thrown out a first pitch with like the uh, Lancaster Barnstormers, which I'm not going to poo-poo or anything like that.
no,
I mean,
no,
it was
that's still cool.
Yeah, it was a minor league game, and they asked me to come out there, and I came out there as the Philly sports guy and got to throw out a first pitch behind 75 other people who threw out a first pitch. So it was, I mean, it was still a cool moment, but is what it is. And then, but getting do the one for the Phillies versus the Yankees. And the other
Nice.
person who threw one behind me, like there was only two people that threw out the first pitch, was a three-time gold medalist Olympian from Tampa. So it was like that's like a really kind of cool moment and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where it's you know short of doing that at Citizens Bank Park, which may
Mhm.
or may not happen sometime in my lifetime, who knows. I'm going to put that up there as like one of the highlights of like bucket list things to do was throwing out a first pitch. And I started to think about that, like, what are some bucket lists,
Mhm.
things that I want to do. My bucket list also, I'm going to go run with the Bulls.
Yeah.
And I know that we talked about that. I, I'm considering taking my son with me. My
Okay.
son's 16.
Okay. Huh?
It's not the most athletic, but, he can run.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
He's
the thing that's funny with the running of the Bulls is even if you're not the fastest guy, if you can get off the side when they're coming through, for the most part, you'd be all right.
right.
Like you see people ducking into doorways and stuff like that, and the Bulls aren't trying to go chase you into a doorway.
Right. And the truth of the matter is that if you're running, the Bulls will run around you. They
Yes.
now I know that sounds kind of funny, but the Bulls aren't trying to hit you and get you out of the way. The Bulls
Unless you
actually
stop.
see you. Yeah, don't stop.
Yeah. If
Don't
they stop,
stop.
they're absolutely doing that.
Um, yeah, that's because then they are. Don't stop. Don't trip. If you
Yes.
trip, get the freak back up again very quickly.
Yep.
No falling. No
Yeah. No, they
falling.
will. They will trample you. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. And slapping Jerry Jones. I like that bucket list item.
Good luck with that. I hope that that happens someday.
But yeah,
But
no, it's yeah. I mean, that's the thing with any herd animal, right? Like if you're running with them, they're going to kind of flow around you. But
correct.
yeah, if you are in their way, they're coming through.
Right. So, but like if you're running and they see you, they will a little bit of earth. They're not trying to gore you. You know what I mean? They're just trying to get to where they want to go so that they don't have to do this anymore. They want to stop running. That's kind of what happens there. I look at it as so. I mentioned this to his mother, and his mother is like, "No, no, 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 no. I do not want him running with the Bulls. He could die."
That is the accurate mom response, though. Like zero moms are like, go get mashed by a bull.
And I'm like being dad and being like, what's the problem? He's going to be
Yeah,
with me. You know what I mean? Like it's, like I will, like if he was to trip and fall, I would jump on top of him. You know what I mean? Like I would be, I don't care if I get trampled, he ain't getting trampled. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I guess that's a fear. You know what I mean? It's like
sure.
just like anything else. But I would, would you send your 16-year-old son to go run with the Bulls?
I mean, if they were into it, yeah, why not? I mean, for me, like I did lots of dumb stuff, so I'm just like I don't know, like I did a lot of dumb things that make for fun stories. So you know,
I mean, one of the other things I wanted to do was like the cheese roll. Yeah,
uh,
it's really hard to do that when you live in Italy, though.
right?
So, I mean, good luck with those things. I mean, all you got to do to run with the Dallas cheerleaders, well, you got to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
So, so I have skydived before, Mary. It was an amazing experience for that. I have jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. Would absolutely do it again. I actually did the whole class, so I actually pulled my own chute. I didn't do it tandem. So at the end, like you jump the first time you ever jump like that, you jump with two other people,
Yeah.
and ultimately, the moment you pull the chute, they keep going,
Yeah.
and you're there by, which is kind of awesome. You know what I mean? So, um, I've done the, what you call it, the not skydiving, it's hand
Bungee
gliding,
jump. Oh,
hand gliding in
hang gliding.
Brazil.
Okay. Okay.
That was absolutely amazing. Doing that whole thing. Um, like uh, that I would bungee jump, because the other thing that I would love to do is, so being the Philly sports guy, I want to do everything Philadelphia. They
Sure.
happen to have the Philadelphia Steps in China.
Okay.
Now, you think about what's the Philadelphia Steps. This is a ladder that it goes from where you start up to the Seven-Star Mountains. And it's like a 1,600-foot ladder.
Okay.
Like and it's a ladder. You're climbing this ladder. You better not be afraid of heights,
Yeah.
because you're in a problem then. You got a very serious problem.
Well,
And
whoever's behind you has a problem.
well, yeah, everybody behind you has a problem. Um, but once you get up there, this is where, like, I'm sure you've seen it if you have Instagram and you're just scrolling along and it shows you the glass bridge that they
Yeah.
have and stuff like that. That's all in China. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and that to get up there, you have to take the Philadelphia Steps. And I'm saying Philly sports guy may have to do that.
No, I think
So
that'd be fun. I think that'd be
I,
fun.
and I'm like, okay, if I was to go do that, I can't go run with the Bulls and then go do this. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to, like, I'd have to prepare for that a little bit, I think. I mean, I'm in pretty
There's,
good shape, but
there's no question. Like if it's a full on ladder, that like there would be some prep for that for
yeah,
sure.
let me see if I can pull it up and show you what it is.
My mom, I'd have let you go run with the Bulls. Yeah, I mean it would have been interesting, but I don't know.
999 steps is, they call it the Stairway to Heaven, or it's the Philadelphia Steps.
How many
Uh,
steps?
I'd say 4 to 6 hours.
Wow.
No, that can't be the right one. It's got to be this Tinnaman Mountain. I'm trying to, but they call it the Philadelphia Steps. I don't know why it's not showing. Here, let's see if I can pull this up.
With a running group, that would have been a cool way to go.
What?
Oh, Mary, she went with a running group, high school, to China.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that
Anytime,
would be kind of cool.
yeah, right. Like
Uh,
that'd be kind of fun.
no, that's not the steps I'm talking about. Yeah, this is that. There's 999 steps that you could take that go up the side of a mountain. Um, and that would be a big deal, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is like a ladder.
I was gonna
So
say because
yeah, I can't find it
a
right now.
thousand steps actually isn't really a ton. Because like when you do the big climb here, it's a charity event. You're running up one of our towers here in Seattle. You're running up the Columbia Tower, 69 flights, and that's 1,300 stairs. Um, I've done that event a couple of times, and you're literally running up the up the building. So so yeah, if it was 1,000 stairs, that wouldn't be that. You definitely wouldn't take you hours. That's for sure.
The Sky Ladder, okay, is 551 foot long, and it's in. I'm going to kill that name, Zhangjiaji in
Okay.
Hunan Province. It's a sky ladder, but it's all and it goes to the Seven Star Mountains. It's called the Philadelphia Ladder. That's what it is, and it's like I said, it's 550 foot, 551 foot long climbing experience,
Hmm.
and it is uh, awesome. It's something I want to do. You know, if they're going to call it the Philadelphia Ladder, I'm going to go do it.
I mean, why not? Why not?
So, um,
16th birthday on the Great Wall. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool.
yeah, China is one of those plot spots that I'd like to do. But like I said, again, that would have to go like next year. I'm gonna do like I can't afford to just go. Let's go gallivanting around the world like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
All
like,
of a
hey
sudden,
guys,
you need some bigger sponsors.
very much bigger sponsors. But I mean, I would absolutely go do it face painted. Like I
Yeah.
would go
That's
up there as the Philly sports guy with the mohawk and everything. I would absolutely do that. And make the video and have a GoPro attached to me in a way that's going to make sense. And
no.
like
The
it's
GoPro makes total sense because then we can see you do the stairs and then get detained.
exactly like all that, like the body camera and everything. But it would be, like I said, that's one of those things where I would not have my son do that.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
something that I can make have happen. I would not have him do that. But running with the Bulls, I feel like is something that he could do. Like I said, I don't know how many people have been killed running with the Bulls because that was one of the first questions that she asked me. Like, how many people get injured or get killed running with the Bulls? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Oh no, that's an easy way to answer. You're like, none this year because it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
I would imagine quite a few though.
I'm actually.
But
There we go.
I would imagine, you could come right back to that and be like, how many people have died running a marathon?
So festival deaths. Okay, let's see how
Yeah.
many. There are 2,000 people do it. This is an 875-meter charge. So
Okay.
875 meters is what? A mile? Mile and a quarter?
No, it's what that would be like a little over half a mile. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay, and since 1910, when they started keeping the records, 16 people have died.
Wow. That's way lower than I would have imagined.
That surprised me. Out of the 16 runners who have lost their lives, 14 were from Spain. Women have participated in bull runs, but all the fatalities have been men. The most recent death being 2009, when one guy stopped and was gored.
I mean, you can't stop.
No, that's
Like,
the big.
like if you need to stop, you got to get to the edge.
Yeah, there was 2 years where 2 runners were killed, 1947 and 1980.
Well, that explains why so many of them were, from Spain also, because it wasn't exactly the worldwide event that it has become. So I would bet back in the 40s, 95% of their runners were probably Spanish.
Yeah, so they're saying that if you get hurt, stay down.
Really?
That's interesting here. So it came to light that the young Illinois man was horribly ill, prepared to run with the Bulls. He arrived that morning on an overnight train, had received no advice from locals on bull run strategies, which could have saved his life. He ultimately broke the cardinal rule followed by all runners: if you fall down, stay down.
Interesting.
When you get back up, you attract more attention or a prime target for wayward horns. And if you're
Hmm,
already hurt, you're more vulnerable to life-threatening harm.
makes sense.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So, you know, plenty of shocking TV footage of runners being gored, trampled, hoisted in the air, and smashed against walls. Even the most well-informed and experienced runners can succumb to injury during the bull run. More than 200 medical professionals and dozens of ambulance are stationed close to the route each day, ready to treat any injury going on.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there you go. Like that's kind of what I'm talking about there. Like I'm ready to do it. And now that gives me a lot more ammunition. Be like, nobody's died since 2009, and those guys were from Spain. So,
All right.
um, I I'll let you know how that all works out.
I feel like not great, but I feel like
I
mom's
will.
gonna step in and be like, "Yeah, no."
Well, she might, but ultimately he's going to be able to have a say here. You know what I
No, of
mean? Like
course,
so.
right? Yeah,
I mean, and ultimately, like I'm going to go in there prepared. You know what I mean? Like I will, like the moment that I have this trip, like I'm going to start jogging. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
want to be able to. I'm not going to just start to run that day. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have a little bit of okay. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it that 2/3 of a mile. No
make
doubt in
sure
my
you
mind.
wear a red outfit.
So no, everybody wears the exact
Yeah.
same outfit, and I'm told. See, that's one of the traditions over there. If you wear something different, they let you know it by throwing sangria on you.
Oh, that's funny.
So, and then everybody who runs, you end at the arena for the bullfight. And
Hmm.
if you sit on one side, it's the shaded side. That's the nice side. That's like the cool side. It's like it's also on the other side is the largest food fight in the world
I mean, that's kind of rad.
that happens in the arena. That now that's different than the tomato festival that happens in Spain as well. But this is like they give you food to throw at everybody else. Like that's part of it. So your white outfit with the red because you get the red thing around your neck, and I would be painted white and red. I would be very traditional, as traditional as I could be for
Sure.
this, and I would go do this. And if my son wanted to get painted up, I'd paint him up too. You know what I mean? Like let's do it. Let's own it.
Yep.
I ain't gonna fight a bull. I'm not gonna be bull fighting. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be running of the bulls or running with the bulls or running in front of those bulls really is what it is. That's what I want. I want to I want to have that experience just once. Like I said, I was considering doing the cheese roll, and that happens in Eddington, London, like
Mm.
Eddington, England. Um, not as excited to do that though.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's when they take this big wheel of cheese and they roll it down the hill and you chase after the cheese,
Yep.
you know, and literally start the whole tumble process.
Yep.
And I just foresee that being broken bones and things like that at 50
Yeah.
plus years old.
That's something you do when you're 20 when you heal a little faster.
Much, much, much so.
Instead of like now where you're like, I slept weird on my pillow. My neck is going to hurt for a decade.
Right. Exactly. So, but I want to do this. I'm going to do this year. You're going to get a report from Pamplona, Spain.
Nah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
And maybe Joe could take a train and meet me over there.
You wouldn't want to chase cheese. I mean, all things being equal, I am chasing cheese all the time. It's something I buy at the store nonstop.
Exactly. I'm always doing the cheese chase, just not down a hill.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to have it kill me from the outside. From the inside, I'm sure that's what's taking me out.
So, but I mean, I think that it would be tons of fun. Uh, I also hear that July 4th over in London is actually a big deal, which is funny to me. It's surprising that it would be a big deal over there, but I was told that it was over there. So I was considering making it a dual trip where I would go spend July 4th at Passyunk Avenue in Philadelphia in the bar
Mhm.
and watch the Phillies on July 4th with a whole bunch of Phillies fans. And
That'd be cool.
then stay there for a couple days and do like a watch party for a couple days, and then go from there to Pamplona. And uh, on my second day of living there or being there, I would run with the Bulls.
Chasing the ice cream truck. I like it.
Hey, listen, I understand that. I can appreciate that. I
So
like ice cream.
we had the biggest jerk of an ice cream guy that came through our neighborhood as a kid, because he wouldn't actually like stop right away. He'd like make you chase him for blocks before he'd finally stop. It's like, you're such a jerk. You had to go
See,
earn that ice cream.
actually, it'd be like it. Now you got all the kids from Rocky running behind the ice cream truck, and you'd be like, "All right, that's enough. I can. Now I've got enough people here, so I can finally stop." Because
Pretty
that
much.
ultimately, that's really what it takes. So I'm sorry, I keep rubbing my nose. I'm so badly peeling.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still like this side of my head is peeling and such. It's a pain in the ass. It is such a pain in the ass when you're peeling.
No,
And
it's the
I'm at the stage right now where I could actually pull like big strips,
Oh yeah. You got
which is
the
which is
snake
awesome.
skin going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I keep waiting for the first time I just like burn the hell out of the top of my head. I haven't done it yet, but I know it's coming. I know I'm gonna do something dumb and be out there too long and just scorch the top of my head.
Well, I tell you, it wasn't that hot. Like it was like 78 degrees when I got burnt. Like I got burnt bad. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you're out there all day. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
no, no,
thing.
no, no. It was like 2 hours. Like
Oh
I got burnt. Like so when I was doing the podcast,
yeah.
I got burnt that time. Like after 2 hours, I started to put some lotion on. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to itch a little bit. Maybe it's a good idea to put the lotion on. And then I put the lotion on, and it's still. Thank God I put it on then,
Yeah.
because I could have really been bad. My leg is like still hurts from being sunburned. Like
Oh, okay.
it's not healed yet to even get to the point where we're gonna start to peel. It's like it was like sun poisoning.
Like, that is just shy of blistering. I got you.
Yeah, like my head was leaking.
Yeah.
Like the blisters didn't
Form.
actually form,
Yeah.
but it was leaking as if there was blisters. So
Brutal.
yeah,
That
it
was after
hurts.
a couple hours. That's rough.
Yeah, so I'm hoping Dustin's watching. I'm like, definitely put on the SPF 70, because
Yeah.
it don't matter that it's not that hot. They said it
Oh,
wasn't.
did you guys end up meeting up?
No, we did not.
No.
Um, I wound up having to do a charity event that night,
Hmm.
and we wound up doing like meeting up afterwards for drinks. Like I went home and showered, and then met up with everybody at the bar and had hung out at the bar, and you know I think I had a good time. I had a great time, in fact, and until we realized that we parked at a spot that was a towaway zone and had to go get the car. So and it's like you try to barter a little bit with the tow truck guy. Like, listen, here's $100 cash. He's like, yeah, and I'll put $67 on the card. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what I'm talking about. He's like, oh man, I can't do it. I'm like, I know you can do it. I know you can
So
do whatever you want to do. Like,
the,
let's be
the
for
thing
real.
that's funny is, once they've hooked your car up, a lot of times, because they call it in, they can't anymore. If
But yeah,
they
but
are in,
somebody owns the shop. So I mean,
that's the thing,
ultimately,
is a lot of those drivers aren't the owner, right?
well, I get that, you know, but
So
they could call up and be like, listen, this guy's he's been cool, he's been funny. Like, I understood what the frig I did. You know what I mean? After I saw the sign, I didn't see the sign initially. But
Yeah.
when there was no car there and there was no more cars there, because the one car blocked the sign.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, we're like there was like 18 cars there, and the one guy was just literally blocking the sign, and there wasn't really good signage. So I saw the sign when I went back for the car, and of course, the car's not there. And I'm like saying, well, I know I parked right here. I ain't that drunk. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So call the number, and they're like, yeah, you got to go here. Now you got to get an Uber to take you over and drop you off. And it's not like it's at the great spot.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
they never are. They're always sketchy.
And thank God the tow truck guy was there because there was nobody else there at all. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, perfect. He's like, nobody told me you were coming. I'm like, I just called, a few minutes ago. Like, what the fuck? Watch my language.
Well, at least this isn't on network TV.
Yeah, tell me about it. So,
Those $10,000 fines add up in a hurry.
beep. It's like, hey, just got my car towed and I got fined by the FCC.
Oh, man.
But I got to meet, it was cool because there's obviously, they were doing celebrity bartending. And at one point, it was Juan Samuel right next to Larry Boa. And that was, they were the duo that would do a lot of um, double plays for a long time
Mm.
in Philly. Just meeting Steve Jeltz, who has, he has a triple play, an unassisted triple play to his resume. So now I've met both of the Phillies who have had unassisted triple plays, which is kind of cool. I mean, I
That
could
is
say
very
that.
cool. And it's a small list. Unassisted triple plays are,
I think
they're
it's happened 21 times in all of baseball.
yeah, that seems
And
about right. I got to watch one happen against my Mariners. So that was I was in the house for that one.
got you. Okay, nice. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Back in the Kingdom. Well, I mean, it's not great when you see your team get out on an unassisted triple play, but I mean, still pretty neat to watch.
Yeah,
But
it's good to be there. I didn't see it. I watched it on TV, but it's and it takes a very unique thing to happen. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's got to be man on first and second, and you have to have a line drive, and the guy's got to kind of be like it's got to be almost like a full count because you almost want to do a hit and run type of thing, so that everybody's off on the pitch, and you know then you wind up catching the ball, tagging the base, and tagging the runner, and there you
yep.
have it. So it typically can only happen on second base.
Yeah, I think it's the only place it can happen.
Uh,
To be unassisted.
To be unassisted, yeah. Unless you are like a third baseman who catches a line drive, tags the base, and the guy who's running from first to second, and you're running at him.
Yeah, you'd have to have you'd have to have bases loaded in that scenario to work.
I guess so, yeah, because you could kind of do it that way. It would be able to work on third base if that was the case, where there's a
Yeah,
man
it,
on
it
third.
could work. It'd be a lot harder, but it could work. Second base is definitely your best shot at it.
Right. So unassisted. Like I said, what I was thinking of is that you are a third baseman, you catch the ball, you tag the base, and then you're running at the guy because that's you wouldn't necessarily throw it just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
charge
I
at
mean,
him and then have him make a decision on which way to go before you would throw it, and then he just gets caught up. So there we go. All the different ways you could have a unassisted triple play.
and there's a reason that it's only happened a handful of times.
Yeah. So, but so yeah, that was cool. And then seeing Danny Jackson, he was the one who tore his shirt off in '93 when the Phillies won the pennant against the Braves. So that was like an iconic moment back then, and it happened like right around my birthday. Actually, it was around my birthday, but they lost on my 21st birthday, 15-13. They were up by a lot, and yeah, Mitch Williams didn't have a good outing. So
Well, and that's the opposite of Altuve, who's like, no, don't open my shirt.
exactly, he was like ripping it off and stuff like that. But Danny Jackson was a really hot-headed, cool pitcher. And I reached out. I told him, I said, I'd love to have him come on the podcast. I was wondering what he was doing with himself, and he's not really doing. He's retired, so it's like definitely would love to have you come on the podcast. Spoke to a couple guys, and I'm hoping maybe that we can get them to come on and talk about this. I might even have a friend of mine come on when we as we get closer, maybe closer to the weekend. I might have him come on Friday and talk about the Elite Eights and going to the Final Four. As he has been to the Final Four. He has cut down. He has cut down. Has won a national championship. So
very cool.
So hopefully we can have him come on later on in the week.
No, that'd be awesome. I mean, we didn't really get there, but you are in the midst of March Madness now, and there's been some injuries in the men's and women's. So I mean, there's been.
Did the guy travel?
By the letter of the rule, absolutely. I don't think you call that though. I mean when you're watching the game, right? If you did it by the letter of the law, it's a travel, right? Because there's no gather step in college basketball. But when you're watching, nobody in that stadium reacted like it was a travel. Not the opposing team, not nobody in that building was like, oh, that was a travel. Like everybody saw that and was like, that was amazing. It was your TV analysts in slow motion after the game that are like, it was a travel. It's like, if they would have called that, everybody in that building would have been like, that is a travesty. I mean, had he taken another step, then absolutely you have to call that, right? But it was 2.5 steps. Like it. So
I mean, in retrospect, when I looked at that, I was like, no, that's fine play. That's absolutely just a great play. That's how that is. And I think about that. I think about what's his face for Toronto against the Sixers, where he took 3.5 steps and threw the ball.
Well,
up,
so that's where that gather step. That's where that gather step BS is for the NBA, which basically I feel like is just the LeBron rule. It's the you get to run half the court. I think in this particular game, why it got called into question is because the way he gathered it, he tucked that thing under his arm like he was a running back, took his 2 steps and then pulled it out and shot. It was a great shot. But I think that's why it even got highlighted, because of the way, rather than gathering with 2 hands and doing the steps, he literally had it and then wrapped it under his arm. So I think that's why people were kind of starting to lose their mind when you watched it in slow motion. Because again, he looked like a running back at that point. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can call that. Like if you wave that off, that would be a rough way to end that game.
Yes, I agree. I think that's. I mean, obviously, it sucks to be on the losing end of that.
Of course.
And you can make up whatever excuse you want to, but the refs got to swallow the whistle there. There's no chance that he's calling that. I mean, it wasn't that far. It wasn't that far out of whack.
And that's why I brought up that no one in the building thought it was one. Because if you watched their sideline, they didn't react to it at all. It's not like they were pointing like he traveled, right? Like had he taken another step, you can bet that entire side, of the stadium would have been, you got to call that. But I mean, that was such a close call. And again, the only reason people are even losing their minds is because they're watching it on TV in slow motion. There's a lot of things that can look illegal in slow motion.
100%. So I like I said, I thought it was a good play. Obviously, Maryland won that, and did they deserve to win it? Probably not. But I mean, not because of that shot, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that. That shot, they won it on that shot, and that shot was probably the best shot all game long for them.
Yeah.
But they, because they really, truth of the matter is that they should have lost that game. So the fact that they won it means that really was Colorado State lost it.
Well, and what was even kind of cooler about that play is, I guess, when they were just drawing that up to come out and play it, the coach is like, "Who wants the ball?" And the guy that shot it's like, "Give me the mother effing ball." It's like that's what you want out of your player.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, hey, give it to me. I want it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And yeah, opening day is coming up. Don't really have a lot of time to talk baseball, but
we'll talk about it tomorrow, because Thursday I will not be here because I am going to opening day.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah, no, for me, the Mariners went 11-19-2 in spring training. It does not inspire a ton of confidence.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter.
Well, it's usually the one time a year the Mariners are good. Like spring training, they usually kill it, which is why you end up with a lot of narratives of like, oh, the Mariners are going to do something this year. And this time, they are, they're winning at a batting average instead of a win percent. So, again, not super excited about it, but hopefully they can get something together. They've been giving up a ton of runs though.
We have to have him come on tomorrow so that I could get my Gold Flake pizza bet back on there. We got to do a double or nothing on the Gold Flake pizza.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't think about him not sending you a pizza yet.
So, that's okay. I mean, he hasn't done it. And, you guys are going to be coming out this way. When do we play you guys? It's
August,
August 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's towards the end of August. Actually, that's a perfect time because I might even be able to get in a football game on that 21st. Usually the Eagles play on Thursdays, so for preseason. And that would be about the last preseason game because they're going to start September 4th.
That would be pretty cool.
So kind of like when we went to the practice out there.
Yep.
So
no, that'd be awesome.
But yeah.
That being said, that gets us to the top of the hour. Got to get out of here for the next hour to start. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. Watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Otherwise, we are out of here for today. Take it easy, everybody.
Later, guys.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports.